Let's bring you up to speed with this developing story now, and it is the sacking of the embattled advocate Busisiwe Mkhwebane from the office of the Public Protector. President Ramaphosa removing Mkhwebane from office, citing incompetence and misconduct. The National Assembly, you will remember, on Tuesday endorsed the Section 194's report, which recommended her removal, saying that she is unfit to hold office. Mkhwebane indicating this morning that she will challenge her axing. Joining us now is legal expert Benedict Phiri for analysis. Mr. Phiri, thank you very much for your time. The vote in Parliament happened on Monday, I want to think, if my memory serves. There's been so many movements in this story, but here's the important bit, and that is that the former Public Protector says she is going to challenge this decision based on process. Does she stand a legal chance?
Good morning, Polly. I certainly do not think she stands any legal chance here, because I think the process has actually been quite a good one from the inception. So if you go back to the initial inquiry and the findings that gave rise to the actual Section 194 committee, which then made its recommendations, and Parliament also then exercising its constitutional rights and obligations, and the President really rubber stamping at the end of that the entire process. I think, in fact, the work of the committee, in fact, added to the credibility of the process, because I think the former Public Protector ensured that she took every single chance to challenge every single process in that committee. And I think in that process, as a result, we saw that it actually strengthened the outcome of the committee. So from where I stand, I don't know where she would want to challenge. The work of the inquiry is done. The work of the committee is done. She should have challenged that a while ago. The work of Parliament stands for itself. I mean, what Parliament did is simply take a vote on the recommendation, and the President simply has to rubber stamp it. So I don't see how she feels she could challenge this, and it would be interesting to see what grounds she would have. But certainly from where I'm standing, it's probably the end of the road for Busisiwe Mkhwebane.
Sure, and I'm going to just tease out some information from you in relation to this process, but I want to latch on quickly to what you keep referring to, and that is that the President has merely rubber-stamped a decision of Parliament. We know the President, many observers describing him as a process man, and you use the words, he merely rubber-stamped this decision. Do you think that there could have been a process that has been missed here? Parliament has finalized its end of the bargain. The President merely coming in as the final authority. Yes, of course, he wasted no time. We know him to take his time on a number of matters, but I think it's a mere 48 hours that he has now shown her the door. Could he have missed a step?
I don't think so, because, it's a parliamentary process to remove the Public Protector from office. Yes, the President did suspend Busisiwe Mkhwebane once the parliamentary process had started, but he was entitled to. And Busisiwe Mkhwebane did try and challenge that decision, and the Constitutional Court found that it actually stacked up. So at least from the beginning, insofar as the President is concerned, he's covered, because the Constitutional Court has actually backed his decision. And then it was left up to Parliament to ensure that the work of the committee stands up to scrutiny. And I think if you listened to what was actually shared in the committee and the evidence, as well as what we know insofar as the court judgments that lambasted Advocate Mkhwebane for not being able to apply the law and using dodgy sources. And, if you look at that, I think there's no doubt that the recommendation of the committee is rational. And then it was left to Parliament to adopt that recommendation, which they did. And, the President has to give effect to the decision of Parliament to remove the Public Protector, which he has done. So I don't think from a presidential perspective there's any room for scrutiny or challenge, and certainly the manner in which Parliament has approach this matter, I wouldn't think there's much room for challenge by Advocate Mkhwebane as well.
Final question to you, sir. I'm going to borrow from an editorial in the Business Day today, and part of the line there that they use, it's a sub-headline. It says, "For years, we watched the courts reject reports as flawed and indicating a poor grasp of the law." That is something that almost has become like a stuck record in our minds of people reflecting on the work of Busisiwe Mkhwebane, the legal challenges that she has had to wade through, and losing many of those, even at the highest court in the land. I'm raising this specifically because this has to do with her, once again, turning to the courts. The same courts, by the way, that she seemed to not express faith in many a times, but nonetheless, she's going back there to say, I may have a legal leg to stand on. Or could this be yet another demonstration of that poor grasp of the law?
It's certainly a sorry legacy, Koli, and I think if she continues with her threat to review any of these proceedings, it would play into the hands of her detractors that she does indeed have a poor grasp of the law. And we've seen this, as you said, in many of the court matters in which her findings were, reviewed and set aside and sent back to her in many instances, and, the scathing comments about her. So certainly if she continues in this vein, it would be a continuation of what we've witnessed as a sorry legacy for an office that is actually a very important office. I think we have to just think back to Chief Justice Mogoeng, his comments about the role of the Public Protector's Office. I think he compared it to a biblical David to slay, the Goliath of public power and keep the public protected. And I think that's an important role which Advocate Mkhwebane did not, unfortunately, perform properly. And I think it is a sorry legacy, and it's sad to see her go this way, and certainly even more sorry that she would actually seek to challenge seeing what she's left behind.
Legal analyst, that's Benedict Phiri. Thank you very much for your time and indeed your analysis.